Alright, how you guys going? I hope you're all doing well. You've just caught me in the middle of a mini ITX build in the in-win Chopin. So I'm putting this together. This video will be on the channel tomorrow, but I thought while I'm here about to put it together, I'm going to do a time lapse of the build for the main channel, which, like I said, will be going up tomorrow. But I thought I'd talk to you guys while I put it together and put this video up. Well, it'll be this afternoon, so you'll see it a day ahead of when it'll actually be on the main channel. So just to bring you guys up to speed, I have the Gigabyte AB350N gaming Wi-Fi, the mini ITX motherboard, as you can see. And on that, I'm sticking the Ryzen 5 2400G. And then I'm going to try and squeeze in the Cryorig C7 into the Chopin case. I know Brian over at Tech Yes City managed to do this. It depends on a few things like the motherboard height and stuff like that. The guys at PC Case Gear said they couldn't get it to fit in theirs. The case lid crushed down the CPU cooler and sort of made it bulge outwards. So I'm hoping I can get it to fit in there because I've said in the video we will be doing it. Otherwise I'll have to use the Wraith Stealth because that obviously fits. And then I've got 16 gigabytes of ADATA DDR4 2666 memory, the XPG S10 SSD 256 gigabyte model, and then the crucial MX500 1TB SSD. It's not really a cost-effective mini ITX build. I don't expect that many people would spend. It's about $800 US for all this hardware, mainly because this case costs $130 US because you've got to get it from Australia. For some reason it's available here but not in the US. Don't know what that's all about. You could build really you could get a similar result for almost half the price. That's if you went with the 2200G. But even with the 2400G, you could probably do it for about $200 less than what I'm doing, and yeah, get a similar result, but it wouldn't look quite as nice. I mean, look at that case. It's so good. So I'm keen to get building. Anyway, we'll start putting this together, and then I'll probably give you guys a sneak peek of thermals and things like that. Also, tomorrow, Tim and I are getting together. Tim's coming here to my place, so we didn't do the Patreon live stream or any content last month, so apologies for that. Hopefully, we won't let that happen again. But yeah, we did have a busy month last month, so Tim went to MWC, and I actually just went on a holiday. My first and probably only one for the year, but that's all right. So yeah, we had a really busy month just trying to get the main content for the channel done, so yeah, apologies for not getting the live stream done or any of the behind the scenes stuff. I'm hoping the IO shield is in this box. I haven't actually used it before. Yes, it is. Cool, we've got there's a few things in here. All right, this board was provided to us by AMD to review the Raven Ridge APU, so I pretty much just ripped the motherboard out of the box and got benchmarking, and yeah, good to see that everything else was in the box though. So we'll stick this in first. Done. Successful IO shield install. Beautiful. Alright, now, probably going to make sense to put the CPU cooler, the Cryorig C7 on first, rather than try. Well, you probably can't install this in the case. There's no cutout in the motherboard tray to allow you rear access, so you'll have to do any CPU cooler that requires rear access to be installed, such as this one, will need to be done with the motherboard out of the case. So Cryorig provide a nice big tube of thermal grease, pretty good for I think it's $30 Australian, this thing. You get a nice little tool, so this should just pull off. I've never actually installed this cooler before, but we're just going to wing it. I don't think we're going to need the instructions on this one. Famous last words. Okay, so it looks like it wants us to take off the standard mounting mechanism, which isn't surprising. Pretty much no aftermarket coolers use that anymore. It looks like the cooler is configured to be installed on an Intel system out of the box. So, how do we change that? Yeah, so as I said, Tim will be coming tomorrow to do a live stream for you guys. So we'll be doing a Q&A, which will be going on the channel. That'll be pre-recorded. We'll be addressing questions in that, and then we'll also be addressing your questions live. So Tim will post the time we'll be doing that in the Discord chat and probably on the Patreon page as well, so you guys are all aware. We're trying this time, I think we're going to go about midday for our local time, which I think is about 9 p.m. in New York. But anyway, Tim will ask you guys which time suits, and we'll try and suit everyone as best we can for the live stream. But even if you can't make it to the live stream, you can ask your questions in the question section of the Discord chat, and we'll be sure to answer all of those. I'll also be benchmarking Far Cry 5. It's not too far now before that's released. So I'll be benchmarking that with over 40 GPUs, and I'm going to do a patron behind the scenes. Oh, I don't have to undo both screws. Wish I'd have realised that before the last one. Yeah, so I'll be doing a behind the scenes of the benchmarking of the 40 GPUs. So hopefully that comes out all okay. But yeah, I would live stream it. My internet's not the best here. That said though, we'll see how the live stream goes tomorrow, and if it goes alright then maybe I will. Okay, so these need to be adjusted for the AM4 platform. So thermal paste time. I always sweat during thermal paste time, but we're just going to go with a fairly large blob in the middle there. I'm not going to bother spreading it or doing anything else. Personally, I don't think it really matters what you do as long as you get enough on there and then not too much that it makes a huge mess. But I think we'll be right with that. We're going to sit the cooler in like so. And then flip it over and sit the motherboard on top of the cooler. And then this just sits. Actually, it's just occurred to me that we don't even use the backplate at all for the AM4 stuff. Oh boy, I've just dropped one on the ground into the carpet and it could be gone forever. Oh, I found it. Oh, the video can go on. Alright, be sure not to do that again. Oh no, don't drop one of these. Stupid packets. Alright, let's see how these guys go. Okay, so there's the Cryorig C7 successfully installed. Didn't break anything. Job well done, I think. We'll check thermals when the computer's together. Next step, let's chuck some DDR4 memory in. That always comes in handy. You've also got to put it around the right way. It goes in heaps easier, a lot less struggle. Okay, memory installed, and we're going to whack the NVMe SSD on the back side of the motherboard in the M.2 slot. Done. So there we go. That is actually pretty much our system built. Apart from the fact that now we have to plug cables and things in. Hopefully that's not too difficult. Actually, it might even be easier to install a memory once everything else is done. Ooh, what a tight fit. The Chopin comes with some coloured strips that go on this front or the left and right sides of the case, and I tried the blue ones, but I personally don't like them. But if you want to spice it up with a bit of colour, you certainly can. Alright, so we are pretty much done with this build. Got the SSD in the back, that's all secured, connected up, should be working perfectly fine. You will notice that there is very little room to install this cooler, so the mesh protrudes a little bit, but I don't know if it'll be enough. Let's find out. Let's see. Okay, it looks like it's going on. There's about 1 millimeter, I reckon. Oh, yeah, there's about 1 or 2 millimeters stopping the fan from hitting the panel. Yeah, I'd say at least 2 millimeters. If I get the panel on properly. There we go. Okay, I'd say 1 millimeter with the panel on properly. Maybe even a 0.5 millimeter. Let's fire that up quickly. Just make sure the fan isn't hitting the mesh panel. Okay, so a couple of things about the C7. I'm actually really disappointed with this cooler. I was expecting much more. So yeah, really disappointing. Anyway, basically why I'm disappointed is it seems to be no better than the Wraith Stealth box cooler in terms of thermals. And worse still, although it's only as good as the box cooler in terms of thermals, it's a lot louder it seems. So not sure what's going on there. I actually took the whole system apart. So there's been a bit of intermission going on here. Ripped the whole thing apart, scraped off the thermal paste. It seemed like maybe I did put a bit too much on there. It was a bit thick. So yeah, I put a thinner layer on. I actually spread it this time all perfectly. No air bubbles, anything like that. And yeah, the thermals were exactly the same. So thermals are the same as the box cooler, it seems. I'm going to have to do a direct comparison soon to make sure that has to be within a couple of degrees based on what I'm seeing. And the worst part is it's just really loud, a lot louder than the box cooler. So this isn't overclocked at all. It's plugged into the CPU fan header on the Gigabyte motherboard, the same that I did with the Wraith Stealth. And the Wraith Stealth starts up all nice and quiet. You can game and you don't really hear the fan at all. This thing just whirs. Makes a lot of noise. I'll fire it up now and show you what I mean. Hopefully you can hear it. So it never really goes quiet. Like you can always hear it. So I'm not sure if that's normal. I haven't seen too much information about this. I've asked Brian. I'm waiting to hear back from him how he's got on in this case. But anyway, the clearance, very minimal clearance. It's like 1 millimeter, 0.5 millimeter. If you just touch the mesh, it touches the fan. I'll do that up here just so you can hear that. So you just have to gently touch it. With the case standing upright or laying down flat, it doesn't touch the fan, so you do have that incy-wincy bit of clearance. But yeah, I'm going to pull it all apart now, and I won't be able to do it in time for tomorrow's video. But tonight I'm going to pull it all apart and rebuild it with the box cooler, see what the thermals are like, and just see if it's a lot quieter, because yeah, I'm really disappointed with the operating volume. So yeah, when gaming, it ran at about 57 degrees on the CPU and the GPU, which, you know, for a 2400G, that's actually pretty good. It's not really much better than the box cooler, if it is any better than the box cooler, so it's kind of like box cooler performance. 57 degrees when gaming, and that was with F1 2017 and Overwatch. I tried those two titles. And then when doing sort of, you know, CPU intensive stuff like a Blender workload, so the Blender workload, the Gooseberry one that takes well over an hour on an APU, within 10 minutes it was running up over 70 degrees, and after an hour it was hitting 78 degrees, which isn't alarming. Again, the box cooler allows it to get up to those temperatures, but it's just no better than the box cooler, and it seems a lot louder. So yeah, that was disappointing. If you're going to build one of these little systems, I wouldn't bother with the CryoRig C7 unless there's something wrong with mine, but I'll do a bit more tinkering and looking into it tonight. But yeah, a bit disappointing that. So that's as quiet as it gets. I'll hold that up. So that's about a foot from the microphone. And so that's just booted into Windows. It'll be sitting at the Windows desktop at idle. It just keeps spinning up and down like an Intel box cooler, which is, yeah, crap. Anyway, a bit disappointing that. Hopefully this sort of behind the scenes video was interesting and you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, be sure to tune in tomorrow because we will be doing the live stream. Jump into the Discord chat to find out what time we're doing that. Hopefully Tim will have posted that by now. We'll be doing it very shortly, but it will be happening tomorrow, probably late afternoon for the US viewers. So yeah, that'll be good. Live Q&A session. We'll probably discuss a few things, talk about all the dramas and whatnot that's been going on in the PC industry lately. And yeah, we'll see whatever else happens. We'll do an official Q&A on the main channel as well. So yeah, that should be good. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up. Oh, and just lastly, I do plan on doing the Far Cry 5 insane benchmark session, filming all that and doing a behind the scenes, hopefully before the video goes out, if I can do it. I'll be, lacking a lot of sleep on that one. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one. See you guys next time.